Have you ever tried to finish a Jawbreaker? It feels like it takes forever, like a candy challenge. They used to be everywhere, but now they're not as common. Softer, quicker-to-eat candies have taken their place. So, what happened? Were they too hard on our teeth, or did we just get impatient? Today, we're taking a closer look to find out why Jawbreakers are so tough and why they're not as popular as before. Well, let's find out how Jawbreakers are made in a factory. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the Process Powerhouse channel. Leave us a comment to let us know what mealtime favorites you'd like to see next. Who knows? Maybe one day they'll find a Jawbreaker so old it remembers the first time someone said, "This is gonna take forever to finish." Jawbreakers have been pushing our patience and our teeth for over 100 years. No one knows exactly where they came from, but they likely started with old-fashioned candy-making techniques in the 1800s. At some point, someone thought, what if we made a candy that takes forever to eat? And the Jawbreaker was born. Early ones were probably made by hand, with sugar layers added little by little. But as more people wanted them, candy makers had to find faster, easier ways to produce them. Jawbreakers have always taken time to make, but the process has changed a lot over the years. In the past, these rock-hard candies were made slowly by hand, with sugar layers carefully added over several days. Now, factories speed things up with giant spinning drums, where thousands of tiny sugar cores are coated in syrup, layer by layer, until they grow into the Jawbreakers we know. Even with modern machines, it's still a long process. Because making something this tough doesn't happen overnight. The end result? A candy so solid that if you try to bite into it too soon, you might be calling your dentist instead of enjoying your treat. Jawbreakers were everywhere in the mid-1900s. Candy stores, arcades, and always in the pocket of that one kid with sticky hands. They even showed up in cartoons and movies, making them the go-to candy for troublemakers. Whether it was a contest to see who could last the longest, or just a way to stuff your cheeks like a chipmunk, Jawbreakers were all about patience. But as softer, easier-to-eat candies became more popular, they started to fade away. Maybe people realized that a candy requiring a licking strategy was too much work. Or maybe we all just got tired of looking like we had a golf ball in our mouths. Jawbreakers are still a classic favorite, a test of patience, and probably the closest thing to a candy time capsule. Whether you're trying to finish one or just using it as a paperweight, one thing's certain, they're not disappearing anytime soon. Well, except maybe into the back of your kitchen drawer, where they'll sit for years. That is, until one day, curiosity, or a sugar craving, makes you try again, only to remember why you gave up in the first place. But enough talk, let's see how they're actually made. Jawbreakers might look like simple balls of sugar, but making them requires carefully chosen ingredients that meet high standards. The main ingredient is refined white sugar, which gives the candy its sweetness and structure. Factories buy sugar in huge amounts, sometimes in 50-pound bags, or even truckloads, so they always have enough for constant production. The sugar has to be super fine and free of any impurities to create smooth, even layers. Even tiny differences in grain size can lead to lumps, cracks, or misshapen candies. To avoid this, manufacturers filter and refine the sugar to keep it consistent before using it. Besides sugar, corn syrup is a key ingredient in making Jawbreakers. It helps each layer stick properly to the one before it and stops the sugar from hardening too fast. Without it, the layers could turn rough, brittle, and more likely to crack. Getting the right balance of sugar and corn syrup is important. Too much syrup makes the candy too soft, causing the layers to blend instead of forming separate coatings, while too little makes it dry and crumbly, ruining the hard texture Jawbreakers are known for. Keeping this balance ensures the layers build up smoothly and maintain the candy's round shape. Flavors and colors are added at different points, depending on whether the Jawbreaker will taste the same all the way through or change with each layer. Some keep a single flavor from start to finish, while others shift from sweet to sour or spicy as they dissolve. Common flavors include cherry, lemon, orange, and grape, while stronger varieties, like atomic fireballs, use cinnamon oil for a heat that builds up toward the center. Adding flavors in layers takes careful control. If the syrup isn't applied just right, the taste can end up uneven. Food coloring is added carefully to create the rainbow layers inside many Jawbreakers. Instead of mixing, each layer gets its own color, forming the bright rings you see when the candy is cracked open. The colors aren't just for looks, they also help with branding and make the candy more appealing. Once the Jawbreaker reaches its final size, it gets a thin coat of carnauba wax, a natural ingredient from Brazilian palm leaves. This wax gives the candy its shiny finish and keeps pieces from sticking together during packaging and transport. Without it, Jawbreakers could lose their gloss and become sticky, especially in humid weather. Every Jawbreaker starts with a tiny sugar grain or a small candy bead as its core. These cores are made separately to ensure they're perfectly round, helping the Jawbreaker maintain an even shape as it grows. Factories use special equipment to produce these tiny starter beads, which are as small as a grain of sand. The quality of the core is important because any flaws will become more noticeable as layers are added. If a core is misshapen or contains impurities, it can lead to uneven or weak Jawbreakers. To avoid this, factories carefully check each sugar grain, removing any that don't meet size and purity standards before they go into production. Once ready, thousands of tiny sugar beads are placed into large, rotating metal drums that spin at a controlled speed. This steady movement keeps the beads from sticking together and ensures they get evenly coated in later steps. If the drums spin too slowly, the beads can clump or develop rough surfaces. If they spin too fast, the beads might lose their round shape or have trouble bonding with the syrup layers. The speed and angle of the drums are adjusted depending on the size and type of Jawbreaker being made, helping maintain consistency in every batch. At this point, the sugar beads are still tiny, nowhere near the Jawbreakers we recognize. To grow them into full-sized candies, factories use a process called panning, an old technique originally used for coating nuts and treats like Jordan almonds. Panning requires careful control of temperature, humidity, and syrup application to build smooth, even layers. If the air is too humid, the sugar coating won't dry properly, making the candy sticky or misshapen. If it's too dry, the layers can harden too fast and become brittle, causing cracks. This step takes constant monitoring to ensure each Jawbreaker turns out just right. The secret to making Jawbreakers is patience and careful layering. If too much syrup is added at once, the candies can crack, stick together, or dry unevenly, ruining their tough texture. To prevent this, factories apply ultra-thin layers one at a time, gradually increasing the size of each Jawbreaker. Every syrup coating must spread evenly before drying, a process that takes several days. By the end of this stage, the Jawbreakers have built up hundreds of tiny layers, but are still growing into the rock-hard candies that take hours to dissolve. The panning process is where Jawbreakers take shape, and it's also why they take so much longer to make than most candies. While chocolates and gummies can be molded in minutes, Jawbreakers need days of careful layering and drying to become rock hard. Each layer has to be applied with precision to keep the surface smooth and even. If the coating is too thick or doesn't dry properly, the candy can crack or end up misshapen. This slow and steady method is what gives Jawbreakers their tough texture and makes them last so long in your mouth. The key to making Jawbreakers is the giant rotating pans that hold thousands of tiny sugar beads. At this stage, these beads are still small and need to grow through repeated layers of liquid sugar syrup. The syrup's temperature has to be just right. Too hot, and the layers can crack. Too cool, and the coating won't spread evenly, making the surface rough or uneven. As the pans spin, the sugar coats each moving bead, forming a thin, smooth layer. This process is repeated again and again over several days, gradually building up the Jawbreakers to their final size. After each coat of syrup, the Jawbreakers need time to dry before adding another layer. This step is important because if the previous layer isn't fully hardened, the new one won't stick properly. That could lead to soft spots, uneven thickness, or layers that peel off later. To prevent this, factories carefully control the air circulation, humidity, and temperature to make sure each layer dries just right. This careful process helps the Jawbreakers build up smoothly and stay tough all the way through. The layering and drying process goes on for anywhere from 4 to 14 days, depending on the size of the Jawbreaker. Smaller ones, like those in candy dispensers, take just a few days, while giant ones, over 2 inches wide, can take more than a week. By the end, Jawbreakers can have anywhere from 100 to 600 layers of sugar, each adding to their rock-hard texture. This long process is what makes Jawbreakers different from most other candies and one of the most time-consuming sweets to produce. Jawbreakers get their bright, colorful layers through a careful process during production. Instead of mixing colors together, each layer is dyed separately, creating the signature rings you see when the candy is cracked open. Some follow a set pattern, shifting from red to yellow to blue, while others have a surprise color at the center for extra fun. Since the layers are built up one at a time, no two Jawbreakers look exactly alike, making each one unique. Flavor is added in stages, just like color. Some Jawbreakers keep the same taste all the way through, while others change as you go. A fruity Jawbreaker might start off tangy and become sweeter toward the center. Spicy ones, like atomic fireballs, start mild but get hotter with each layer, packing a serious punch by the time you reach the core. This slow flavor shift makes eating a Jawbreaker more fun, keeping candy lovers curious about what's coming next. To create smooth flavor changes, factories carefully control how much flavoring goes into each layer during the panning process. Each layer must have just the right amount. Too much can make the taste overwhelming, while too little can make it weak or uneven. If the balance is off, the candy could end up too intense or lose its flavor too quickly. By adding flavor in small, controlled amounts, manufacturers ensure a steady, enjoyable taste that lasts from the first layer to the very center, keeping the eating experience exciting the whole way through. The bright colors and layered flavors are what make Jawbreakers fun to eat. Some change flavors as you go, while others stay the same from start to finish. Either way, they offer a one-of-a-kind experience that makes them different from other candies. With the perfect mix of color, taste, and texture, every Jawbreaker is a little surprise, keeping them a classic favorite for candy lovers. After Jawbreakers reach their final size, they go through a polishing process that gives them their smooth, shiny finish. This step not only makes them look more appealing, but also keeps them from becoming rough or sticky. Without polishing, the candies could stick together during storage or shipping, making them harder to handle. The glossy coating helps them keep their round shape and ensures they stay separate, whether they're sold in bulk or individually packaged. To get their smooth finish, Jawbreakers are placed in large, rotating polishing drums. These machines work like the ones used earlier, but instead of adding sugar layers, they coat the candies with a thin layer of carnauba wax. This wax, made from Brazilian palm leaves, creates a protective barrier that keeps moisture out. Without it, the outer layers could become sticky or soften too fast, ruining the candy's hard texture. The wax helps Jawbreakers stay fresh, firm, and ready to enjoy for a long time. Polishing doesn't just protect Jawbreakers, it also makes them look better. Without wax, they might look dull or uneven, but after polishing, they shine with a smooth, glossy finish. This bright, reflective surface helps them stand out on store shelves, drawing attention with their bold colors. Whether in candy dispensers, plastic bags, or sold individually, the polished look gives them a high-quality, eye-catching appeal. Polishing is much faster than the long panning process, usually taking just a few hours. Once the Jawbreakers are evenly coated and have their signature shine, they move on to the final steps, quality checks, sorting, and packaging before heading to stores, vending machines, and candy lovers everywhere. Before Jawbreakers hit store shelves, they go through a careful quality check to make sure they meet factory standards. Each batch is inspected for cracks, uneven layers, or discoloration. Since Jawbreakers need precise layering, even small flaws can affect their texture and look. Any candies that don't pass the test are removed and either discarded or reused. Some factories grind up rejected Jawbreakers and use them in other candy products to cut down on waste. After passing inspection, Jawbreakers are sorted by size. Factories make them in different sizes, from tiny ones for gumball machines to giant ones as big as a baseball that take hours to eat. Sorting helps keep each batch consistent for packaging and shipping. The smallest Jawbreakers are usually sold in bulk for vending machines, while bigger ones come in retail packages. Extra large Jawbreakers are often individually wrapped and sold as fun, long-lasting treats. After sorting, the Jawbreakers are packaged based on where they'll be sold. They might be packed in plastic bags, clear containers, or individual wrappers. Bulk packages go to vending machines and candy stores where people can buy them in large amounts. Smaller bags are sold in grocery and convenience stores for a quick and easy snack. Individually wrapped Jawbreakers keep them fresh and are great for grab-and-go treats at checkout counters. Once packaged, the Jawbreakers are loaded onto trucks and sent to stores, candy shops, and online retailers around the world. Making Jawbreakers takes time and careful attention to detail. Though they might seem simple, each one is built through a long, step-by-step process. The next time you enjoy a Jawbreaker, you'll know that every layer, color, and perfectly round shape was made with patience and skill to create a one-of-a-kind candy experience. Jawbreakers remain popular because of their fun, colorful design. Their shiny, bright exterior and layered inside make them easy to spot in stores, vending machines, and old-fashioned candy shops. With sizes ranging from tiny to giant, they offer something for everyone, whether you want a quick treat or a candy that lasts for hours. Special versions, like spicy cinnamon, color-changing, or holiday-themed flavors, keep things exciting and give candy lovers new options to try. Jawbreakers are more than just candy. They bring back childhood memories and are often tied to classic candy stores and pop culture. Their long shelf life makes them a popular choice for bulk candy bins, party favors, and gift sets. Whether sold in tiny vending machine capsules or as giant novelty treats, they continue to be a favorite across generations. Jawbreakers have lasted through the years because they offer more than just sweetness. They're an experience. Their bright colors, long-lasting layers, and fun challenge make them a favorite for all ages. Whether enjoyed for nostalgia as a test of patience, or just for their bold flavors, they continue to be a popular treat. By adapting to new trends while keeping their classic appeal, Jawbreakers are sure to stick around for years to come. Did you know Hostess CupCakes have been around for almost 100 years? Since 1919, these chocolate treats with their famous swirl have been a lunchbox favorite. But have they always tasted the same? Some say the recipe has changed, while others insist they're just like they remember from childhood. So today, we're digging into the sweet mystery. Have Hostess CupCakes really changed, or is it just our taste buds fooling us? Well, let's find out how Hostess CupCakes are made in a factory. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the Process Powerhouse channel. Leave us a comment to let us know what mealtime favorites you'd like to see next. Who knows, maybe they'll find a Hostess CupCake so old it remembers dial-up internet. Hostess CupCakes have been around since 1919, longer than most of our grandparents. These little chocolate treats have made it through the Great Depression, World War II, and even the rise and fall of Blockbuster. Talk about staying power. They were one of the first mass-produced cupcakes, paving the way for snack cakes everywhere. Imagine being a kid in the 1920s, unwrapping one of these. Pure joy, no smartphone needed. Just you, a Hostess CupCake, and maybe some jazz playing in the background. At first, Hostess CupCakes were just simple chocolate cakes. No creamy filling, no white squiggle on top. But in 1950, someone had the brilliant idea to add a creamy center, and snack time was changed forever. That little bit of vanilla cream took them from good to legendary. The best part? No fighting over the best piece like with a regular cake. Every bite had the perfect mix of chocolate and cream, like a perfectly made sandwich, but in cupcake form. The famous white swirl on top, that was the perfect finishing touch. It gave Hostess CupCakes their signature look, making them easy to spot on store shelves and in lunchboxes everywhere. That swirl is like a secret snack club symbol. If you know, you know. Over the years, Hostess has tried different flavors, from golden vanilla to wild limited edition colors. But the classic chocolate one is still the favorite. No matter how many new snacks come and go, something about that little chocolate cake with the swirl keeps us coming back. For over 100 years, Hostess CupCakes have been fueling sugar rushes, convincing kids to finish their homework, and mysteriously vanishing from kitchen counters. And if you've ever tried to eat just one, you know it's almost impossible. Maybe that's why they always come in a twin pack. Hostess knew we'd want another. Whether you've loved them since childhood or just discovered them, one thing's certain. Some snacks fade away, but the Hostess CupCake isn't going anywhere. Now let's take a look inside the factory. The process starts long before the cupcakes are made. Hostess carefully picks high-quality ingredients to make sure every bite has the same soft, chocolatey taste fans have loved for over 100 years. They work with trusted suppliers to get top-grade ingredients that meet strict safety standards. The main ingredients: flour, sugar, cocoa, eggs, vegetable oil, leavening agents, and dairy. Each play an important role in the cupcake's taste, texture, and shelf life. Without the right ingredients, the cupcakes wouldn't have their perfect mix of sweetness, moisture, and fluffiness. The flour is enriched to keep the right protein level, so the cupcakes have a soft but sturdy texture, not too dense or dry. This process also adds important nutrients like iron and B vitamins. Sugar does more than just sweeten the cupcakes. It helps them stay moist and fresh. The right balance is key. Too much can change the texture, and too little can make them dry. The cocoa is Dutch processed, which reduces acidity and brings out a deep, rich chocolate flavor. Eggs help the cupcakes rise and give them a soft, cake-like texture. Vegetable oil keeps them moist for longer, so they don't dry out too quickly. The ingredients arrive at the factory in large shipments and are kept in temperature-controlled silos to stay fresh. The factory carefully tracks each batch to keep production running smoothly. Before being used, every ingredient goes through strict quality checks. Experts test for texture, moisture levels, and any contamination using high-tech equipment. Infrared scanners can spot unwanted particles, while moisture analyzers make sure everything meets the right standards. This careful screening process helps every Hostess CupCake taste just as good as the last. Any ingredients that don't pass the test are thrown out or sent back to suppliers. Hostess also cares about where its ingredients come from. The company works with suppliers who use responsible and eco-friendly farming and production methods. This helps protect the environment while keeping the cupcakes top quality. Once the ingredients pass all the checks, they move to the mixing area where the real magic happens, turning simple ingredients into the classic Hostess CupCakes. After passing strict quality checks, the ingredients are carefully measured and sent into large industrial mixing tanks. The entire batter-making process is automated, using advanced machines to ensure every ingredient is added in just the right amount. Special dispensers release precise portions to keep each batch consistent, so every cupcake turns out the same. Timing and ratios are key. If an ingredient is added too soon or too late, it could change the texture or flavor. Automating this step allows Hostess to make huge amounts of batter quickly, while still ensuring the cupcakes have the same soft, chocolatey taste people love. Mixing happens in stages to make sure all the ingredients blend evenly. First, the dry ingredients, like flour, cocoa powder, and leavening agents, are sifted and mixed to break up any clumps. At the same time, the wet ingredients, including eggs, vegetable oil, and water, are mixed separately at a controlled speed. This helps the eggs blend smoothly and the oil spread evenly throughout. Once both mixtures are ready, they are slowly combined while being stirred at high speed. Mixing too fast or too hard could create air pockets or an uneven texture, so this step is carefully controlled to keep every cupcake soft and consistent. As the batter is mixed, tiny air bubbles are added on purpose to give Hostess CupCakes their light, fluffy texture. The right amount of air is key. Too little makes the cupcakes dense, while too much can cause them to collapse in the oven. Special sensors keep track of temperature, thickness, and air content to make sure everything stays just right. Advanced mixing technology helps keep the batter smooth and consistent, and if anything seems off, quick adjustments are made to fix it. Once the batter is just right, it moves straight to the next step. If a batch isn't up to standard, whether it's too thick, not mixed properly, or has the wrong amount of air, it gets tossed or fixed. This way, only the best batter goes into baking. Hostess's careful mixing process makes sure every cupcake, from the first to the millionth, is just as soft and tasty. Now that the batter is ready, it's time to pour it into molds and bake it to perfection. When the batter is just right, it moves through sealed tubes to keep it fresh and free from contamination. It's then poured into pre-greased baking molds on a fast-moving conveyor belt, making sure each one gets the same amount. Even small differences in portion size can cause uneven baking, so accuracy is important. Automated sensors keep an eye on the process, making adjustments as needed to keep everything consistent. After being filled, the cupcake molds move through a large tunnel oven, an advanced baking system that keeps the temperature just right. Unlike regular ovens, which can have uneven heat, this oven is designed with specific temperature zones to bake each cupcake evenly. As they travel through the oven, the heat gradually increases and then decreases, helping the cupcakes rise properly without cracking, sinking, or drying out. The conveyor belt moves at a steady pace, making sure every cupcake gets the perfect amount of heat for a soft and fluffy texture. Baking takes about 15 minutes at around 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 175 degrees Celsius. This steady heat helps the cupcakes stay soft and moist, while giving them a slight dome on top. The process also locks in just the right amount of moisture, so they stay fresh longer without needing too many preservatives. Infrared sensors constantly check the moisture levels to make sure every batch has the perfect texture, taste, and freshness. At the end of the tunnel oven, the cupcakes go through a careful quality check using infrared scanners. These scanners check their size, color, and texture to spot any that are overcooked, undercooked, or misshapen. Any cupcakes that don't meet the standards are removed and either reprocessed or discarded. This ensures only the best ones move forward. With baking done, the cupcakes are now ready to cool before getting their creamy filling. Right after baking, the cupcakes are still very hot and delicate, so they can't be handled right away. If the creamy filling were added it would melt or soak into the cake, ruining the texture. To avoid this, the cupcakes move to a cooling conveyor system that slowly brings down their temperature while keeping them soft and moist. Cooling is just as important as baking because it helps the cupcakes stay light and fluffy while getting them ready for the next step. The cupcakes cool inside a special airflow tunnel where filtered air moves around them evenly. This keeps them soft and spongy while preventing them from drying out or getting too hard. If they cool too fast, they could lose too much moisture and become dry. If they cool too slowly, condensation might form, making them soggy and affecting the chocolate coating later. The airflow system is carefully adjusted to cool the cupcakes just right, keeping their texture and taste perfect. The cupcakes take about 10-15 minutes to cool, with sensors checking their temperature inside and out to make sure they cool at the right pace. If a batch doesn't meet the cooling standards, it's flagged for inspection and may be reprocessed or discarded. Once they reach the perfect temperature, they're ready for the creamy filling, which is carefully injected to guarantee every bite has the classic, delicious taste Hostess cupcakes are known for. Now, for the best part, the creamy filling that makes Hostess cupcakes so delicious. Each cupcake is flipped upside down and sent through a special injection system. Stainless steel nozzles pierce the bottom and fill the center with just the right amount of vanilla-flavored cream. The process is carefully adjusted to make sure the filling spreads evenly without messing up the cupcake's soft texture. If it goes too deep, the filling could leak out. If it's too shallow, there won't be enough in every bite. The filling is light, fluffy, and perfectly sweet, made from a mix of vegetable shortening, powdered sugar, and vanilla flavoring. It's whipped until it's smooth and airy, never too thick or too runny. This gives just the right balance to the rich chocolate cake, making every bite even better. The amount of filling is carefully measured so that every cupcake has the same perfect cake-to-cream ratio, keeping the texture and taste consistent across millions of cupcakes made each day. Quality control is key at this stage. If the filling isn't added evenly or a cupcake doesn't get the right amount, it's flagged for fixing. High-speed cameras and weight sensors check for any mistakes. And any cupcake that isn't just right is either adjusted or removed. This careful process makes sure every Hostess cupcake meets the brand's high standards, because no one wants a cupcake without its creamy center. Once the filling is done, the cupcakes are ready for the next step, their tasty chocolate coating. After getting their creamy filling, the cupcakes head to the enrobing station, where they're covered in a smooth layer of chocolate icing. This icing is made from a blend of cocoa, sugar, and stabilizers, keeping it soft and tasty while still firm enough to hold its shape. This step is key to giving the cupcakes their classic look and flavor. Each one moves under a flowing curtain of melted chocolate, making sure every cupcake gets an even coating. Any extra icing drips away through a special system to keep things neat and prevent clumps. The result? A perfectly coated cupcake with a glossy, even finish. The chocolate icing's thickness and temperature are closely watched during this step. If it's too thick, it could create a heavy layer that overpowers the cake and filling. If it's too thin, it might not fully cover the cupcake, affecting its taste and look. To keep things just right, sensors and quality control teams ensure the icing stays at the perfect consistency. Once coated, the cupcakes are given a little time to set before moving on to the final decorating step. Now for the final touch, the famous white swirl. A special piping machine carefully applies the signature loops on top of each cupcake with perfect accuracy. This swirl isn't just for decoration, it's a classic Hostess trademark that fans know and love. The machine is designed to ensure every cupcake gets the same neat, consistent swirl. To get it just right, the pressure, speed, and placement are all carefully controlled, keeping the cupcakes looking as iconic as ever. Quality control is key at this stage. If a cupcake is missing its swirl or the design looks off, it won't pass inspection. High-speed cameras and trained workers check each one to make sure it meets Hostess's standards. Any that don't make the cut are either fixed or removed. Once they pass, they move on to the final step, packaging and getting ready to ship to eager customers nationwide. Once the cupcakes are complete, they move down the line for packaging to keep them fresh and protected. Before this, they go through one last quality check. Workers and high-speed cameras carefully inspect each one to make sure they're the right size, shape, and look just right. Cupcakes that are misshapen, missing their swirl, or unevenly filled are pulled from the line. If possible, they're reprocessed. Otherwise, they're discarded to maintain Hostess's high standards. The cupcakes that pass inspection are wrapped in twin packs to keep them fresh and protected. These wrappers help prevent contamination while keeping the cupcakes soft and tasty. To extend freshness, a process called modified atmosphere packaging, MAP, is used. This replaces oxygen in the package with nitrogen, slowing down spoilage without needing extra preservatives. Hostess does this to make sure every cupcake tastes just as fresh as when it left the factory. After sealing, the twin packs are packed into larger cartons designed to keep them safe during transport. This process is fully automated, making sure each pack is neatly arranged and secure. Barcodes and expiration dates are added to help track inventory and ensure the cupcakes arrive fresh in stores. Hostess follows strict guidelines to store and transport the cupcakes under the best conditions. The cartons are stacked onto pallets and shipped to warehouses and distribution centers nationwide. From there, the cupcakes make their way to grocery stores, convenience shops, and vending machines. The entire process is carefully planned to make sure customers always get fresh cupcakes wherever they are. After all the steps, sourcing, mixing, baking, and decorating, the final goal is to deliver these treats safely to snack lovers. And just like that, the journey from simple ingredients to a perfectly packaged cupcake is complete. Hostess CupCakes have been a favorite for generations because they bring together great taste, nostalgia, and convenience. With their rich chocolate flavor, creamy filling, and signature swirl, they have a classic charm that keeps people coming back. But it's not just about the taste, it's the experience. Whether they're a childhood favorite, a lunchbox treat, or a sweet snack, they bring back happy memories for many. There's something special about unwrapping one and enjoying the soft, familiar cake, a simple pleasure that has lasted for decades. Hostess has stayed popular by combining tradition with modern production methods while keeping the same great quality. Advanced technology ensures every cupcake is soft, moist, and delicious. Automated mixing, precise baking, and carefully measured filling help create the perfect texture fans love. At the same time, special packaging helps keep them fresh longer without changing the taste, making them a convenient and reliable treat. Thanks to strict quality control, every bite tastes just as good, whether enjoyed right away or weeks later. Marketing has helped keep Hostess CupCakes popular over the years. Fun ads, seasonal flavors, and special editions keep the brand exciting while staying true to its classic charm. Creative promotions have made these cupcakes more than just a snack. They're part of pop culture. Limited-time flavors, brand collaborations, and holiday-themed treats keep fans interested and coming back for more. Whether it's a spooky Halloween version or a partnership with a well-known brand, Hostess always finds ways to make its cupcakes fresh and fun. The reason Hostess CupCakes have stayed popular for so long is that they always deliver the same delicious experience. With their mix of nostalgia, great taste, and consistency, they remain a go-to treat that people of all ages enjoy. While new snack trends come and go, these classic cupcakes never fade, proving that some treats never go out of style. Whether you've loved them for years or are trying one for the first time, there's something special about the simple joy of a Hostess cupcake. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Your thumb gets a workout, and we get the love. And if you haven't subscribed to the Process Powerhouse channel yet, seriously, what are you waiting for? A VIP invitation. Come on, hit that button. Got a factory process you're curious about? Drop it in the comments. We might just make it happen. No promises on a conveyor belt cameo,